podcast joint with Ciara.
Yo, what the deal? This is T Money, and you are now watching the T Money podcast joint. My brain cells are on 10 right now because I am in the building with greatness. Understand this, please. You are witnessing the 19th wonder of the world. There's the T Money podcast joint in the house, man. Go to YouTube, subscribe. You know what I mean? Watch season 1, 2, and 3. This is the beginning of season 4, where we're going to have so many spectacular guests, man. And today we're going to start. But first, before we get into who we are interviewing today, I have to mention that my girl, my knock on my nerve, my jelly preserve, my numero uno, Ciara Ross, the boss, is back in the building.
What's up, America? What's up?
Boogie, what's up, baby? How you doing? You good?
Cooling. Yeah, man, we outside.
No, listen, you know, we missed you, man. We missed you. You know, although we had great people on. We had Kim Goodlook Seabrook. She was in the building.
Yeah.
We had Kiana, the Purple Goddess, was in the building.
Yeah.
They were in your seat.
Thank you, ladies.
They were doing their thing. So, and I thank them very much. Thank you guys for doing your thing. But you know, it wasn't the same. You wasn't here.
I missed everyone as well.
Yeah.
So again, we got to jump back into this thing. Get season 4 rolling.
Yo, listen,
so let's do this.
Listen, don't do that again, okay? We miss no more shows. I got no time for that. But,
I mean, listen. You only got one life. All I'm gonna say is make sure everybody take care of yourself and just take one day at a time and do what you gotta do.
Salute to you, baby. We're here.
Likewise.
But listen, today we have a very positive woman of color, dope MC, book author, professional wrestler. Let me get it right now for my girl Emma Lee MC in the house.
Yes.
Emma Lee, what's up, baby? What's happening with you?
What's good?
Woo! Harlem's own, right?
Harlem's own.
Listen to me. It's a pleasure to have you on my show today. Your energy has been so positive. I just want to make sure that our viewing audience, right, has the same experience I had in researching everything you've been doing thus far. You know, there's so many people that come through here. You know, they do so many great things, and I am completely blessed, you know, with having people like yourself as part of the show. And I want to first say thank you for coming, right?
Thank you for having me.
And salute to you and everything you do. But let's first get into it. We're going to start from the beginning because I know a lot about you because I did all my homework, right? That's what I do, right?
He's professional.
But listen, but my viewing audience might not necessarily know. So talk to me a little about your upbringings. I just mentioned that, you know, you're originally from Harlem, USA. Salute to Harlem. You know, that's always been a second home for me. I lived in Harlem for a while, and I lived in the Bronx. You know what I mean? I'm a Long Island dude, but I lived in different boroughs, so I can, you know, understand. You know what I mean? But talk to me a little about your upbringing. You know, where you went to school. You lived in, what part of Harlem you from? Are you from the east side or you from the west side?
You want my zodiac sign too?
Well, we can talk about that too. We can get into that. You know, I just want to. But you will never listen to me. Listen to this. You never know out there who can actually gravitate towards your energy based on what you tell them. Like you could say for instance. Oh yeah, I'm a Scorpio. Oh, she's a Scorpio. That's
of
dope.
course.
Now let me see what she's all about.
Yep.
So tell everybody what you about, baby. This is this is why we're here. So let's make this happen.
Absolutely.
Emily,
I know some fun facts. I can't wait to ask because I got some questions.
No, you're so
how did it
right.
start?
Yeah, no, that's wise. Everything on a case-by-case basis. Absolutely. So I was actually born in Uganda, which is a small landlocked country,
right?
In about Eastern Central Africa, and my whole family's from there.
Oh, great!
And my mother, my father, and me came to the United States in 1990. First stop, fresh off the plane, bright-eyed, melanin-toned, Harlem, New York City.
Glistening.
Oh, wow, nice.
Just beautiful baby brown. But yeah, for those who may not be aware, Harlem 1990 is like best of times, worst of times type of thing. You know, it's not crazy New York like 70s New York, but we're just getting out of the crack era, as many know it to be. Gentrification hasn't taken over yet, so it's still rough. It's still rough, but we just had a golden era of hip hop. So there's a lot of activity in the street, a lot of culture. And for me, I talk about in the book, I know we'll get to it, but for me, I call it like a ghetto Disneyland for me. So my parents were busy, trying to set up shop and figure out what's going to happen now, because we're the first also. Everybody's back there and around the world. Okay. We're the first ones here. And then I'm the only child too. So it's just me.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was Harlem, and then they got divorced, so we moved around a lot. I hit Queens, I hit the Bronx. I've lived in Brooklyn too. I haven't lived in Staten Island yet, so I haven't completed the cipher.
Oh, okay. Gotta complete the cipher.
But yeah, New York City girl through and through. And as far as school, that's a touch and go subject, because I went to a lot of schools.
Yeah, due to the fact that you moved so much, I would think that you went to
a
handful of schools, right?
But then also, like, I was a wonderful student, a straight A honors student for most of the way. Thank you so much. So shout out to everybody who's doing well in school. Yes. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's actually really awesome. But then, as you'll also read in the book, some things went left, and I was no longer that straight A honors student. I was a straight F student. And I dropped out of high school. And then I went to trade school and dropped out of trade school.
You talk about that a little bit. That's in the book, how things went left.
Yeah. What can I say? It's just I was always a little bit advanced for the grade I was in anyway. Because when I was in third grade, they asked my parents, can we skip her ahead or send her to a gifted program? And my parents were like, no and no.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. And they didn't tell me until nobody told me until years later. So I had no idea that was even the case. But still, I could feel it immediately, because I was just constantly bored and so curious and always into my own adventures. And I'm still that way. Like, my independent studies is crazy.
So what age did you start watching wrestling black and white?
9.
What was your interest at 9? Because most 9-year-olds do not want to sit in front of a black and white TV and seriously just watch it. So how did that come about?
Yes,
that's different.
It's they had Nick at Night around that time when I was still.
They did, yeah.
And I Love Lucy used to come on.
Yeah.
And I Love Lucy drew me in. I don't know what it was about that. Like, I saw Dick Van Dyke, and that was all right. And eventually Mary Tyler Moore came on, and I liked it because she was, a single girl starting a career in a male-dominated space, and that was interesting. But it was still like, But Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz on I Love Lucy in the black and white was just like so much activity, so much energy. Like, she's supposed to be a housewife and a mother and a home manager. But it's not enough for her.
Right.
She don't want to listen.
She want to be in the show.
Right.
She want to run a business. She want to hustle on the side. She want to.
I think that speaks to a lot about how she was as an actual person.
Yeah.
Lucy, right?
She was. She actually went on to become one of the legendary producers in TV. She greenlit the Star Trek franchise, Mission Impossible.
No question. Yeah, exactly. That's
she was like an executive,
right.
But her physical comedy and her facial expressions, the way she actually acted, and her professionalism, and then knowing that she was actually producing the show. And then the fact that season in and season out, they were getting into so many adventures, was just like, she's a lawyer. Now she's a doctor. Now she's a sculptress. Now she's a painter. Now she's training dogs.
She makes wine.
Now she makes wine. Now she's in Scotland. Now she's in Paris.
Got a best friend to get on board with it.
And she's got the gang, and they're getting into all these hijinks. And I was just like, wow, that's a full life. That's a full life.
Just so you guys know out there, this phenomenal woman is incredibly talented. And in order to make it in this business, you have to be multi-talented. You can't be a one-trick pony anyway. But there's some people who take that to a whole nother level. I mean, not only did you do this phenomenal book that we're getting into right now, so you're not gonna make me lose my mind.
And I believe it's DMX inspired.
It is.
Yeah, man. This is kind of the title of one of his songs, right? Or actually, it's it's a verse from one of his songs, "Party
Yes,
Up," right?
sir.
Right.
Yeah.
And talk to us a little about the book and what inspired you to actually write the book and become an author, and there's so many things in here that that we should cover. Like
Sure.
the mental health component. There's there's components in regards to positivity and a lot of things that I'm encouraging you guys to go out and purchase and read.
And chapters of her MC life.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna get into that
Can't
because
wait to
she's
get
sick.
into that.
She's sick with bars, and that's a whole nother conversation. Because nowadays,
Oh,
my
damn.
God, I just need to get. I'm gonna get your perspective on what hip hop is today, anyway, in regards to whether or not bars are necessary. I think someone that mentioned the fact that some people don't even consider bars,
question.
necessary today, which is ridiculous, but it's crazy. But anyway, so your inspiration for the book.
Yes. So the inspiration was twofold. So on the one, just like you said, the DMX influence heavy, and DMX for me was so motivational, so uplifting, and such an example of how to be uniquely yourself and not deny yourself, and also truly live out the light that you have inside you without being what other people want you to be, but also how to navigate industry politics, street politics, the dangers of just dealing with human behavior, family burdens, the whole breaking generational curses element that comes into play with a lot of people. And then also if you grew up dealing with trauma as a child or as you came into adulthood, so you have a lot of things buried. Maybe you have a lot of unresolved habits and issues that you don't even have the tools to deal with. And yet here he comes out barking and praying. You know, you go to see his live show and he's making people cry, like soulful tears.
No question.
And then in the next 30 seconds, making them want to stomp out the person to their left or their right.
Absolutely.
And then in the next 30 seconds, have a great time and just screaming loud. So
Go right back to the block.
right, and then right back to, so it's just like, whoa, that energy. And like hip hop itself as a culture and as an art form, it's, if it starts and ends with something, it's energy. It's that unique electric thing. And then there's a zone for the people who are creators in it and the people who are performers in it. And some of us are both, and some of us are not, and that's fine. But so he was a big inspiration on this because the suicide prevention and awareness, the mental and emotional health part, DMX was also, in my view, one of the, he may not have been the first, but he was certainly one of those artists who was so unabashed and unapologetic and consistent about speaking about the dark sides of life and the B-sides of life in his music, in his interviews, in his lyrics, and just like being very upfront about the fact that he was going through battles. And it wasn't just, okay, I went platinum, I went triple platinum, I'm on tour, I'm on this, I'm on that. It's like, I'm dealing with a lot of dark things and things I'm trying to escape. And sometimes the people closest to me hurt me and it hurts.
It's very difficult for most people, especially people who are in the public eye, to put all their energies into. Maybe let me backtrack. It's difficult for them to give full disclosure on what is troubling them.
Yes.
Right. And it's difficult for the regular person to do that because people have gates on what they want other people to know because they feel in a way. And when someone such as DMX or even a Tupac or when they have nothing inhibiting their energy, they just come out with it and say these things and talk about their struggles and this, and make it public and they're unapologetic about how they are as people, right?
Yes.
You as a person, you go, I believe him. And I love them because you gravitate toward that because you're saying subconsciously you say, I wish I could be that. And it made X believable. It made Tupac believable, and you have to respect that.
Absolutely. Yeah, because there's a lot of people who go through the exact same things, but there's these. They say the lowest vibrational emotions, if y'all will allow me to go there,
of course,
are fear, shame, and guilt, if I'm not mistaken. And these things are like, if you harbor in them, if that's what you engage in on a day-to-day basis, if that's what your inner monologue is always feeding you back to yourself, it's not only going to hamper you from actually healing and going forward in your life and like realizing your potential, but these things are also like cancerous. Like these things also create diseases in a person. And I know we've all had the experience of like naysayers and people who are living miserable lives. They wouldn't say it, but they're living miserable lives. So if my life is miserable and I had to go through all these horrible things, why should you be any better? Why should you realize a dream? It can't happen.
It's a parasite.
Parasitic energy, yes.
Yeah, no questions. Definitely that, you know. But
yeah.
But with that being said, your book is I read a few pages.
Yay.
You know, due to the fact that we linked up late, so I didn't get a chance to read a lot.
No problem. It's a lot in
but
there.
it's a lot that's involved in it. Make sure you pick her book up. We'll get into
Definitely.
where you can get it later, but make sure you get her book, man. Her book is phenomenal, you know, and she's a phenomenal person. But
How did, and not to jump off topic, but I'm just curious, how did James Baldwin become your favorite author?
Oh man.
So that's in the book? James Baldwin is your favorite? Really?
I referenced.
Oh my God!
I referenced.
Yo, James Baldwin is so okay.
He's like.
He said, "Is that in the book?" No, I'm just that good.
Remember, I told you I only got a chance to read a
I
few.
didn't even open the book.
She's good.
Okay.
I told her, I said, I don't even want to open it.
This is
really
why
good.
Ciara got to be back.
She's really good. She's really good. Y'all are professionals.
No doubt.
So yes, James Baldwin is one of, if not my favorite writers. I hate to typecast him and say Black writer, but also like Black is not a bad word to me. So I have no problem saying he's one of the most prolific Black writers that ever existed. But why he's one of my favorites is because he writes what he wants to write regardless of a barrier. He's nonfiction or he's fiction, but he's poetic and he's psychological and he's emotional and he's analytical and he's creative, and that's me. And so reading his writing was like, wow, here's somebody being what I am and what I want to be, and he's doing it in his way, and now I see through his example how I could do it in my way. How I ended up in his path was, I have to think about what the first impetus was, but I do remember seeing clips of his interviews, and then I read The Fire Next Time, and then that changed my life, and then I was like, I have to read more, and I found at the time, and I'm so upset because I don't have it anymore, but I found a 6-pack of his books online for like, I'm not even kidding, like it was something crazy, like 62 cents or something.
Oh my goodness.
It was crazy, and it was the old like, where it still says like this book is $1.25 on the cover. It was amazing. So but I was able to read Giovanni's Room out of that, and then I had Another Country that I finished like maybe 2 years. Actually, that might have been the last book I finished before I started writing this.
And James Baldwin was, I mean, you would never find a writer today that made you feel the same way. I mean, James Baldwin is a product of the times, of his times.
Yes.
You know, that's why he was so unbelievable as a writer. And people don't really. That's when you said that, because I studied him in school.
Oh, lovely.
Right? So, but he was an amazing person.
Yeah.
You know, let alone his writing skills. He was a great person.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
So, but yeah, not only so we're talking about your book. You have so much I can't even understand. Look, I'm
I know. I have to live with me every day.
Oh my God!
So I can imagine.
But you do all these things
like.
well. It's
Thank
not like you
you.
just okay. It's not like okay. Look, you know, I'm a custodian or I'm a bus driver. Or, you know, no, you do all these things.
He said
well.
I'm the custodian.
Right,
I'm
right.
the bus
That
driver.
part.
Right.
I be driving that.
So,
Okay.
but why, okay, so your rap skills,
Yes, sir.
unbelievable.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something, kid. I've been in the music business since I was 18 years old. I'm not going
Wow.
to tell you my age at the moment, but I've been in the music business all my life.
Blessings.
And you know, I hear people freestyling.
I'm sure you've heard a lot.
I heard so many people be. I mean, I'm a rapper, so I'm not even.
Yeah.
I'm not even like tripping. But when I doing my research on you, and I saw you spit, I was like,
it's
yo!
just crazy.
I sent it to my assistant Annette. I had to send her. I said, look, I was like, really.
dope.
I didn't even write any type. You know, you say like, watch this or whatever. I just said it because I was so into what you were doing. But okay, talk to me about why you became a rapper, why you rap, where did it all come from? You know how. You know what? Talk to me about your love for the culture. You know, and where does all derive from? Because you weren't born here. You were born in another country.
Yeah.
You know? So, and you came here in the '90s, which was a great time to be part of hip hop. You know, the '90s was a, you know, I'm not gonna say that. I don't particularly look at the '90s as the golden era because there was an era before that.
I think it's 2 golden eras before that.
So you got to respect the era that came before that when you talk about Flash and Furious
Absolutely,
5
even
and,
before that.
Cold Crush and everybody else, right?
And all of that stuff had to place some type of psychological effect on you.
Right. So,
And before, I guess, you get into the MC version of you, because all of this ties together into boxing. You also box. That has to have some type of psychological path that you have to go to prepare for that. So I guess my question to you is, how does that all in sync or entwine together? Do you come up with the same energy as, okay, before I step into this ring or before I step to this mic?
Yes.
Are you going into that same psychological window?
Right.
Or is it 2 different compartments?
right, that's my energy.
I can
like
actually put
both questions. Yeah, because right.
I can actually tie those 2 together because even though when I approach a boxing versus I'm going to perform, there are, like, the preparation is different, obviously or not obviously, and my mindset is actually different. But what ties all these seemingly random things that I've done and do together is me searching for my power. And at first it may have started of just, I'm looking for reasons to stay alive because I'm actually miserable here.
Yeah.
And again, being the only child, my mother and father are living their own lives, and much respect to them because they made a way for me to be here. They provided for me to come here, and then they did the best they could, like so many parents do. But also, this was a whole new world for all of us. And then they had this horribly long, bitter divorce. It was like 4 years of just horrible. And I don't think any of us were prepared for the newness of life in America and our immediate family breaking up.
Yeah.
So now instead of a unit naturally developing here, it was 3 people living 3 different lives. Yep. And it's almost unfair because I think people take for granted a lot of times, like, children should get a chance to be children. And so when we came, and then once they divorced as well, it's like, not only did I have to grow up so fast because we're in New York City, and your kid's gonna have to learn a lot of things because they're gonna be going places by themselves. They're gonna be going to school alone, whatever. They're gonna be riding
New
the
York
train,
City
the
is very
bus.
fast paced, right? So you have to
Very
learn
fast
quickly.
paced, so
Right.
you have to learn things quicker. And then we in the hood, like, let's not get that twisted. Like, we are living in some
One-hit quitter.
neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? So there's things that you have to be aware of and your head on a swivel. But then with not having them as, like, mother, father, like, it's not like that. So now I'm living my own life, but I'm a child still. So I'm having to navigate, and thank God I had the clarity and the wisdom of, like, that I did have certain talents and abilities and that I did have a calling to certain things. But I had to figure out what that was going to mean to my life without them. And so that, plus the economic aspect of where we were and the resources of what we had and didn't have, that created a very miserable environment for me growing up as a young Black girl. And so I was looking for reasons to stay alive, but I was also looking for things that put me back in touch with my power, my divinity, my humanity. And so hip hop, I knew it was destiny because I wasn't looking for hip hop. I heard it in the streets when we came here. It was pumping out of everything, cars, it's in the hallways, your neighbors are playing it. Like I said, we're in the thick of it, so we're hearing all types of music, and then prominently hip-hop, and then because it's Harlem, there's a lot of legends and legendary energy just floating because they're there. So, and battle rap is happening, so there's that.
And speaking of battle rapping, just a quick question. Would
Sure.
you happen to remember your freestyle? I want to make sure I get it right. You, him, her? Am I?
You, me, him, her.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to make sure I get it right.
Yes, I do.
So, madam, is there any way that you possibly could spit that for us? It
Well, spit
doesn't
some
have
bars,
to. It
yo.
doesn't have to be the whole thing, because I actually, guys, would love for you to go listen to it with the audio and everything. But when she spits the first 7 bars or words, however way you want to word it, you'll kind of get the message, and it goes by exactly what she just said, the influence and just everything. Now, again, she got plenty that she could tell you, spit for you, but it's just this particular freestyle is just so meaningful. It's
So interesting.
What I'm thinking is she was trying to find her voice. She was angry. She was trying to find her voice. She wanted to be heard. And what better way to do it by rapping? What better way to do it by fighting? Right? What better way to do it by putting yourself out there and expressing yourself in these ways, right? So that's why your skills are so prolific, because I mean, you have to take the time, you have to sit and you have to write, you have to think about what you're saying, and it's an energy.
Yes.
Because if you don't have the drive and energy to do that,
Forget about it.
And then if
Forget
you
about it.
do it, it's not believable to people. But again,
Yeah.
To my point in regards to X and Tupac.
Yes.
Right? So
And Tupac's a big influence. Tupac and Afeni Shakur are a big influence.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Afeni
hit that
Shakur.
for you in about 20 seconds here.
Yes, ma'am.
But just to piggyback off of what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
before I was writing poetry and stories
Right.
and streams of consciousness.
There you
Like
go.
get-go. I was a notebook kid. Everywhere I go. Still to this day, I'll type stuff in my phone, sure. But I want my pen and paper.
there you go. The cousin,
I-
poetry, the cousin of
It's
rap
a,
music.
it's
Okay.
a thing. It's
Right.
it's doing from the internal, it's energetic from the spiritual realm into the physical, the
Right.
hand-eye contact coordination to the paper, then seeing it in front of you, then reciting it back, hearing it's different. It's
Right.
just different. And there's actually scientific studies now on the difference between pen and paper and typing. So
Thank
it's
you.
it's not just a thing.
The mechanics of it. is
Absolutely, and it plays a difference on your memory, on your retention, on what you're actually getting out of the information, your contextual ability with things. It's a difference. So there's that. But then I started in hip hop in the cipher. Like when I spit my first rap, I did it off the dome in a cipher in the 5th grade with all my other guy friends in a one-off classroom. So starting out in the cipher, and also when you first get in there, listening and feeling in the room, and I'm like, whoa, I mean, I've heard hip hop music, I've seen Video Music Box.
That does so many things for you right off the bat.
It's something different.
It gives you immediate audience. It gives you
It's
immediate
something-
gratification.
Oh,
Because
thank
if they
you.
say, "Oh, you're dope," boom, right? So now you're heard by your peers. You're heard by people you respect to a degree,
Yes.
right?
And yeah.
So it helps you in the long run,
And
right?
in that moment, I wasn't looking to be heard. I wasn't looking to be seen. I literally was looking for my friends and found them in a huddle doing these rhythmic things that I've never seen people do before, and was like, what's going on? And they was, shh, come here. It's close. And then I'm like, whoa, this is something you could feel. It's like, that's the energy. It's electric. It's like the molecules in the room are forever changed. That's why I said close the door. Don't let it out. And then I'm hearing them, and these guys, don't front on just because we're in the 5th grade, like, what could we possibly be rapping about? Yo, these dudes was nice.
You're spitting, right?
Little mini Ghostface, little mini Nas, little mini, Mr. Cheeks.
So let
Lil
me ask you a question. So
So
you got in the cipher,
I got in the cipher. So
but did you
I'm
write
waiting
before
for her
this?
to
no,
freestyle.
that's what I'm saying.
No, she will.
I know, I
We-
said,
we-
I'm sorry.
This is
That's
important.
20
This is
seconds.
important
You
stuff.
can't lie. That's the 20 seconds.
Yo, listen, but did you write? Were you writing
no,
before? This is
no, because I never wrote bars. I never wrote songs.
This is what I'm trying to tell you.
I wasn't even thinking. I had no impetus to be a hip hop artist.
Yo, look. Come on, help me clap this. Because she got in the cipher and never wrote before, and you set it off. This speaks to your intelligence.
I'll tell
speaks
you
to your
exactly
skills.
what happened, and I can sum it up real quick.
That's
So
crazy.
I'm hearing my friends. I'm like, wow. Not only is this electric and exciting, like I'm so turned on right now, but I'm like, they're actually good. Whoa. And these, guy friends when you're younger, they're knuckleheads. No disrespect. Yeah, they're knuckleheads. I'm the girl of the group, so I'm just like, they're knuckleheads. They doing something stupid, and then I'm like, whoa, they're doing something that's actually really incredible.
Right.
And then a voice came in my head, and the voice said two things. The first thing the voice said was, "You could do that." I was like,
Me?
"Excuse me."
Yep, little me.
I've never done this before. I don't even know what I didn't ask you all that. I said, "You could do that." And then I said, "Okay, right now." And then they were like, "And you could do it better than them."
Wow.
You're saying a lot right now.
Y'all not gonna make me lose my
I
mind.
said, "You're saying a lot right now." They're actually really, really incredible. They said, "Shh, we didn't ask you all that. Just go, just do it. You got it. You got it, and you just go and do it." And I said, okay. Nothing prepared, nothing pre-written. Didn't even know what writing a bar was. I didn't even know how to measure bars. That was all taught to me after. So I make my way, because if you know anything about ciphers, if you don't know, there's an etiquette for those who have that respect. There's an etiquette. You have to go to the front. You have to make your way up. You have to listen for the moment where it's like double dutch for those of you.
Of course, where you can jump in.
Where
That's
you
right.
can jump in.
That's
you have
facts.
to listen and you have to wait for that moment. It's a timing thing where you can jump in. And then other people might also be thinking about that same moment to jump in. So you kind of got to wait for that. And if you're going to jump ahead of somebody, you better have the audacity and the skills and the wit to back up the fact that you just cut the line. And I did.
Wow.
And I jumped in.
Wow.
And as soon as I jumped in, I felt the whoa, all eyes on me, everything on me, everybody's listening, whoa. But then I hit like 2 bars, said something really I think it's dumb, but it was something silly. It was like something, I gotta remember exactly what the line was. It was something about when I walk down the street and people see me and they wanna holler, but it was something. But I made it rhyme and it was coherent. And just the fact that it was competent was like, blew them away. And as soon as I hit the first 2 bars, everybody was like, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, because nobody expected it. It was like a Nas Ether moment. Nobody expected me to be there and then to actually spit and then to actually sound good.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Nobody expected that.
But the
You in 5th
reaction
grade.
from
You're in
them,
5th grade for crying out loud.
that too.
Yeah.
The reaction from them was like, I caught the bug.
Immediate, right.
I caught the bug. And that was like, people keep asking me like, oh, when did you fall in love with hip hop? And I'm like, I still can't remember, but it may be that moment because that's when hip hop became personal to me. That's when it was like, oh, this is what it means to move the crowd. Oh, this is what it means to like connect with other human beings in the moment and to create a moment and connect dots. And that is an incredible feeling.
That's dope. Oh my God, that's incredible, man.
I should spit now.
To her point, if you're interested,
chilling.
let's make it happen, man.
I'm just
Yeah, listen to me. This is the T Money podcast joint, and we're about to hear my girl spit the joint right here, Emily MC.
And like I said, she might only be doing half, guys, so she got plenty. But this was a special
She
request.
said the you, me, him, her.
You gotta set this up. You ain't setting it
I
up.
don't know. It's set up. We had a conversation. It's set up. I'ma sit and sip.
All right. I said, is this David and Goliath or Dr. Sabi and Big Pharma? Daughter of a murdered preacher's son. This is God's karma. Patrice Lumumba's ghost reincarnate. Bitch, it's me. Cross Queen, you on the wrong side of the history. Too many ain't got the spine. Don't abandon the teachings. Chiropractic points will paralyze and paraplegic. Strategic collegiate felt it was trivial pursuit. Commute the campus past wrist flickers who Rubik's cubed. Voice, work ethic, grace, it gets them every time. So many took me for granted, but chill, don't press rewind. Suffer the bars, cause I don't write filler lines. Be breaking nights with my pen in hand like a baby crying. Could never dilute me, an original woman. Could try to set up an obstacle, God'll just remove it. Or I'll bloom through it like I had the basic instruction. Many could live in order, but they die in dysfunction. Facility visits, letters, prisons, writing in life up. Something exotic be walking through your local nature. Something hypnotic is busting through this bottle cork. You distribute the keys when you building the doors. Was renting the owner while bitches worry about they sonins. Co-op components are parcel poets. There's no opponents.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
I have. This is one of my final questions. With that being said,
Get the book.
Bars.
Thank you.
Remember I had mentioned this earlier in regards to bars, right?
Yes.
Today, first of all, what do you think about hip hop today? The role of the female MC, because female MCs are dominating the game right now. How do you also feel about how mental health plays in the culture right now? Because at some point, early on, addressing mental health was like a thing. Wasn't a thing.
It was not.
It was like people were swept it under the rug.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
And now everybody's using it for a come up.
Right.
Let's just call it a spade a spade.
Right. So talk to me about how you feel in regards to the female MC today, and the role that mental health plays in the culture at the moment.
Yeah, so on the first part of your question, so hip hop, I feel, is like the classic Mos Def line from the Black on Both Sides album. He said, hip hop is the people. Whatever's going on with the people is what's going on with the culture.
Right.
And so
That's facts.
we're seeing some really, really, really great accomplishments. We're seeing people at the top of the charts consistently like we've never seen. Hip hop has become the new pop for a minute now, but we're seeing it have greater market share like we've never seen it before. People are entrepreneurs in different industries and markets like we've never seen before. Money's being made like we've never seen it before. And yet also people are going through inflation like we've never seen it before. People are suffering mentally and emotionally like we've never seen it before. Suicide rates have gone up since the pandemic, and it is the leading cause of death among young people in the United States. And this is all happening while hip-hop has become the #1 entertainment influence in the entire globe. It's used in everything. Business, infrastructure, culinary arts, education, politics, everything. So there's a lot of gains, but then there's a lot of unspoken and underspoken conflicts and unresolved imbalances going on. And so I'm really happy. I'm always happy to see people getting money, making money, and making things something of themselves. But I'll never deny the B side of the game, the darkness of what's going on, just like all the people who made it possible for us to have the industry where it is, from everyone, all the people who contributed, including you. With that said, the women, did you want to jump in real quick?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm here for it.
Got you. The women, same thing. I'm very happy to see more women at the forefront and at award shows and being nominated for things.
Can we put some clothes on? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I think we can.
Because I was with you.
I think it's possible.
When you said, can we see it? I'm here for it. I would love it.
I think it's possible.
But I also
for
would
people
love for you to put a little bit more
clothes
clothes. I don't know what happened. There's a dress code. It's a real thing. Sorry.
on. Yeah, no problem. And people are not, I know some people find it cliche and exhausting to say like, oh, well, at different points there was more diversity, so you had a Queen Latifah and a Moni Love and an MC Lyte, not just, and I get it, because even at the times of Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown, which is a crazy tree if you start to trace Cardi and Megan back and all the dolls and everything, if you start to trace it back, even if you just stop it at Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, like that's a crazy tree. But around the time of Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown was Missy Elliott and Lauryn Hill. And Missy Elliott and Lauryn Hill were raking in #1 hits. They were making crazy amounts of money, generating a lot of revenue for a lot of people, kept a lot of people employed. So
do you think it has something to do with the fact that hip hop itself is singular in their mission to do the same thing over and over again as it relates to artists? When we touched on the 90s earlier, right? In the 90s, there was KRS-One, there was Nas, there was Rakim, there was Wu-Tang. And in saying that in itself, all those entities are different
Completely
rappers, right? you know, but they serve the same hip hop culture. Now, you know, you have artists that all serve hip hop culture, but they're basically the same group. So, and it has I think it has a lot to do with the industry. Has a lot to do with the industry saying, okay, you know, let's involve sexism in this. Let's say, okay, let's make all the women sexy. If you don't fit the suit as a man, and if you don't fit the skirt or not as a woman, right? You know, we don't need you. So I think it has a lot to do with the powers that be. And I think hip hop as a culture needs to do more. They need to celebrate the talent. You know, not the figure. They need to celebrate the talent. And you know, not the sensuality. They need to celebrate the talent.
And even to that point, sorry to cut you off.
Right, that's okay. You can. That's fine.
Even to that point, like I won't give away. I'm gonna say this without giving away what I don't want to give away. But to the point of the sensuality, I write a lot about sensuality, and not just songs, but also again poems, stories, streams of consciousness, and the topic of sex and sensuality itself is so underspoken about. Like what we're hearing and seeing and what we're all numbed by because we get it so much and it's in our faces so much, and the way people dress, and then the lyrics, the way it comes off, the way the videos look, the way everybody looks when we see them on the carpets and on the reality shows. That's just like the tip of the iceberg on the depth and the range and the volume of sex and sensuality as a topic. So we're not even getting like, you know, it's like the difference between fast food and home cooked food, or like shopping in one supermarket and then shopping in the good supermarket. So it's also like that's deliberate, not just like you said, not just by the artists themselves, but also by the people who control the financing of those artists, the management of those artists, the promoters of those artists, the people who control the live shows and how tours and things are structured. And these are things that were also addressed by artists like Prince, as far as the infrastructure around why the 1% of the entertainment industry is what we see it is. So there's that. But also, I think I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. You can just lose your train of thought because keep talking.
That is not the case. What the case is, we were talking about females and the bars necessary and things like that.
So I was saying, I'm really happy to see go girls. Like, go girls. I'm a girl's girl. At the same time, you know, I'm someone who... The subtitle of the book is Notes from a Hip Hop Unicorn and Suicide Survivor. And not only did I survive being a suicide attempt, I'm a suicide attempt survivor, but I'm also a sexual violence survivor. And I know women, I was just at an event for the book the other day, and somebody during the Q&A was like, oh, I'm a domestic violence survivor. And I came to you from this experience. And to act as though there's no correlation between the influx, and it's not just hip hop and pop music as well, to act as if there's no correlation between the influx and the abundance of overtly sexual, and again, I wish there was a better word, because there's so much more to sex and sensuality than what we're seeing. But to act as though the abundance of what we are seeing has nothing to do with the fact of the rising rates in not just suicide, but in rape and sexual violence and children being assaulted and people ending up in these crazy situations. To act like there's no correlation, like, oh, the music is just entertainment. Like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's
not
not.
at all. And I totally concur with that. That is definitely not the case, because everything that we do as far as the hip hop culture, music wise especially, we send a message. You know, we can influence so many people in a negative way and positive, right? So when it happens negatively, don't just say, "Oh, this is just the music." You know, don't let that be a big escape.
And I'm not here to, as I hope I conveyed in my rhyme. I'm not here to. Maybe one day I will. Be a nun. And maybe one day I'll actually put on the whole outfit to do a set with. But I'm not here to say like, we need hip hop to be pure and
Yeah.
about purity and kindness. And I came from the cipher. I came from battle rap. I came from Harlem. I came from Uganda. You know what was going on in Uganda when we left? I couldn't go back for over 20 years because of what was going on over there. So the real raw shit, like, I'm about that life.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, what I'm here to do as an artist, as a writer, as a pro wrestler, as whatever I'm doing, and that's another reason why, like, I'm so indebted to the examples of a James Baldwin, of a DMX, of a Tupac, is I'm not here to be boring about the fact that I'm a positive person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm dope as shit and I'm positive.
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
conscious and I'm real.
Tell them how you feel, baby. Tell them how you feel.
wrestle.
Tell them
Like,
how-
I'm saying, yeah, and
Professionally.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I like wearing 5 rings on my left hand. I love that shit. Like, I
Stop
want to
playing
keep
with you in these
You know what I'm
streets.
saying? I like wearing bamboo earrings. I like having bantu knots sometimes. I like wearing head wraps sometimes. I like being completely covered up sometimes. Sometimes I look flyer the way I'm covered up than somebody who is looking like who's on the cover of this or who's on the primetime show of that. And I think that's really important, not just for me to be in tune with my divine self, my uniqueness, to love who I am naturally. But imagine all the little girls
Yep.
who are just watching because they have nothing else to do but watch and observe. That's part of their job, is to observe and learn how the world is so that they can figure out what they want to do with it. And imagine if they had no other example, just this thing
Right.
of the overtly this or the surface that, or the you got to figure out how you can attract this because that's how we know how valuable you are. That's very dangerous.
Right.
And if I can be out there and every time I'm successful at something, they're seeing, wow, you can do it like this. You don't have to do it like that. This doesn't matter. You can actually do it like this. Like, that's powerful. And that's us reclaiming not ourselves just as a culture, but as a community and as Black and brown people. Because let's not act like just because Megan's doing great, that the hood is doing great. Like, the hood is
Absolutely.
worse off than before her career took off.
She was chosen. That's how that works.
Absolutely. It's a few of them that's chosen. But at the end of the day, when you're chosen, you have a self-notion and conscious. At the end of the day, we can blame everybody, and I'm big on this. People are blaming the next person, but at the end of the day, you're
Comes
not
back to you.
blaming yourself for taking that decision, that choice, whatever path you decided to take. It started with you. I'm not saying you possibly might not have been forced or coerced or carrots wasn't dangled, but at some point we have to take self-accountability and
Absolutely.
be self-aware. Miss Emma, thank you so much. Quick question. Where can your new followers find you?
Hold on, before
and
we
where can
get to
they the
that,
book?
I need to know what your wrestling name is. Is it Emma Lee
It is
MC
not.
the
They
wrestler?
was calling me that for so long. I was like, man, you guys, that's me in hip hop. I'm trying to be something, a new identity here.
So you keep in mind, guys, this woman wrestles professionally. Her trainer actually worked with Hulk Hogan.
Johnny
right?
Rods,
Johnny
WWE
Rods.
Hall of Famer in 1996.
Listen, do not mess with her in the street because she will kick your ass. Okay, just be clear right now. But do you have a wrestling name?
I have a wrestling name. It is Lennox Latour.
Love it.
So follow Lennox Latour, follow Emily, right? MC, and where can we
Book.
Yeah.
find this book? Tell us.
This book is published by Wahida Clark's Innovative Publishing. Shout out to Wahida Clark.
The forward is by Pharoah Monch, by the
forward
way.
is by Pharoah
Salute to
Monch.
Pharoah Monch.
Yeah.
No doubt.
One of the
Great
Great
greatest.
MC, man. Great MC.
One of the greatest
Period.
of this culture.
Of the
Absolutely.
group Organized Confusion. No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So you can get it straight from the publisher, wclarkpublishing.com. But if you just love your Amazon and don't want to part with it, it's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, Goodreads. We are spreading it out to independent and local bookstores and libraries as well. And we just got our first Black-owned library in Boston. They're actually the only Black-owned bookstore in Boston.
Congratulations.
Frugal Books. Thank you. So
That's
you
dope,
can get it
man.
from there.
That's dope.
And
It comes in
yeah.
soft cover and hard. Just let you know.
Kindle and hardcover. So ebook and hardcover right now. You got it exclusive. They don't get it. They don't know.
Meet me on 2/5. I'll be out there with a box. We're gonna be selling these.
The
You know what I mean?
disrespect.
That's how we doing that.
I
But
better be with you,
That's
man.
the game,
He
kid.
didn't say we.
You know,
He
hand
said
in
I.
hand.
He said I.
not. I'm just saying.
I said we going hand in hand. I'm gonna be out there.
I know I'm with that hand in hand. But yeah, definitely stay tuned and request me to come in. I am at Amelia is Emily on everything.
Okay.
Or you can just type in Emily MC M.C. and things will come up.
Okay, no doubt, baby.
Go check
Thank
out
you
her
so
fights.
much.
Make sure that you check out some more freestyles. I just happened to pick that one because it's just my personal favorite.
Her freestyles is
Continue to keep going.
absolutely crazy.
And it's been a pleasure, madam. We support you fully. Let us know how we can continue to support you. And thank you so much for the copy. I can't wait to actually read it.
Thank you.
No doubt. To Ciara Ross in the building.
Ciara's back.
T Money in the building. Emily MC.
Something.
Don't play games, man, because she'll kick your ass. I'm telling you right now. This is the T Money Podcast. Joy, you are witnessing greatness right here. All right?
Season 4.
Holla at you, man.
Season 4.
Peace, 2 fingers, man. 100.
Money podcast joint.